watching the end.
To be on the edge of control.
I like the speed. I like the battles, defying the odds. I want to be champion.
Hello and welcome to Whilton Mill Kart Circuit here in the heart of the Northamptonshire countryside. With the home of the British Grand Prix just down the road at Silverstone, this is an area steeped in the history of many famous victories played out behind the wheel of a race car. Where better then to meet the stars of the future than right here in round 2 of the 2020 Ultimate Karting Championship. The international circuit here at Whilton Mill has long since been a favourite with kart racers young and old alike, and it's fast corners like this one here at Turn 2 that are the reason why it's so popular. Turn 1 is oblivion, you come round that and then you come into Crook here, and it's all about keeping your foot flat as you go through Fine Lady, running slightly wide, and then it's up the bank to Christmas Corner. And if you link this all up right, by the time you get to Christmas Corner, you might nick a place or two up the inside, and if you do, it'll be like Santa's delivered just what you're asking for. And then you're going to find yourself in this infield section coming around Ashby behind me. You want to stay up on the kart in front of you through here, because when you come around the next few sections, then you'll be going down what is the back straight, and that's an opportunity to get your hammer down there before it's the final section as you head once again to the start-finish line. Whilton Mill really is an exciting and fast circuit, and it is the perfect setting for the racing here this weekend. While the last of the heats are playing out on the track just over there, back here in the paddock, it's always a hive of activity with the drivers and the mechanics making the final tweaks and changes to their setup to get the best out of the car. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to catch up with some of them and see what they're thinking this morning. Sam, great to see you here this weekend. Another busy weekend for you under the tent. How's it going?
Yeah, really good. We've had a couple of wins, a couple of seconds. Yeah, it's good.
And tell us a little bit about Sam Pollitt Racing. How does it work?
So basically we run both classes, cadets and Rotax. We offer every sort of package, either arrive and drive, or you can bring your own kit and we'll look after you for the weekend. Predominantly everyone lets us look after everything, and then we bring everything to the circuit, manage the drivers, and then take it from there really.
So in terms of the cadets who are quite young drivers starting out, this is a great opportunity to get some professional backup and some professional coaching.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a range of drivers from all ages as well. So the cadets, we've got the youngest is 9, and we've got the older ones of 12.
And what are some of the coaching tips that your guys will be giving these young drivers?
Just driving techniques really, obviously track position, racing lines, things like that. We go through the GoPro footage with them, all the data, and obviously try and progress them through as much as we can.
And in the old days, karting was very much a dad and lad sport, and people would find their way, but it seems these days it's expanded, and if you want to do well and if you want to get on, you've really got to come under a tent like this.
Yeah, definitely. When I raced, it was just me and my dad, and there wasn't really many teams around, and now it's predominantly race teams. Unfortunately, I think unless you're in a team, you sort of struggle.
But the advantage of being a team in this as well, you've got all that backup and all that support, and like you just mentioned there, all of the data from all of the karts.
Yeah, definitely, and that's where we sort of, all the teams have got a massive advantage. If you've got 5 or 6 drivers in a class, you can try 5 or 6 things in each session, and you can progress a lot quicker.
Tell us a little about UKC as well, new championship, second round this weekend here. What was it about the Ultimate Karting Championship that made you want to get on board?
I think it's just something a little bit fresh and new. Obviously, it's really well organised. Obviously, all the film side of things really, really good. I think it brings a different sort of angle to to karting, which it needed really. It was sort of getting a bit stale. I think it's really good.
A Whilton Mill, well-known circuit, fantastic circuit, very fast circuit. Tell us about a little bit about where we are. Is this a circuit that you've raced at previously?
Yeah, I've done a bit of racing here. We actually won our first ever British round here, so it's quite a good track for us. We really like it. I think it's nice because it's a little bit up and down. It's a little bit different to drive. It's really flowing. A little bit bumpy, but I think if you're a stronger kid, you can get on with it, which is good.
Caden, great to see you here again this weekend. You're having a bit of a blinder, aren't you?
Yeah, no, so far so good. We blew up an engine in practice, which really affected the racing, but we managed to turn it around.
In your heats, I think a second and a first so far. You've got to be pleased with that.
Yeah, no, good results. We can see what we can do today, and hopefully we'll have another win.
Tell us a little bit about Whilton Mill. What's the key to doing well around this circuit?
It's a bumpy track really, so the main thing is just to look after your tyres and maintain them until the finals.
Yeah. And so far this weekend, is it the same drivers that you were battling with in Rowra that are giving you the trouble?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of other drivers that weren't as fast as Rowra, at Rowra, but they're fast here, so there's a couple of more challenges this weekend.
Caden, best of luck for you, and hopefully we'll see you on the podium again.
Thank you.
You've arrived at Whilton Mill fresh off the back of a fantastic weekend at Rowra. You must be filled with confidence.
Yeah, really confident around here. We did a lot more racing than we have done at Rowra, so no, I'm feeling confident, but struggling a little bit yesterday. But hopefully we can get it back today.
Yeah, the final heat that I saw you racing in yesterday, you did a great job of fending off James Lingard there. I understand you were nursing some brakes all the way to the checkered flag.
Yes, we've been having problems with brakes all yesterday, just getting them overheated. We seem to have sorted it in the second heat, but I still didn't know that, so I was still trying to nurse them, trying not to get them hot. But Lingard was really quick, managed to get a gap at the start. But yeah, like you say, he caught me up really quickly. In the last 2 laps, we're struggling to keep him off.
There was a lot of fast racing here at Whilton Mill yesterday. Just tell us about the circuit in general. What's the key to doing well around here?
It's weird around here. You've got to not attack the track. You've got to be really smooth with it and brake earlier than you think and try and be really smooth with the track. Whereas different to Rowra, where you've really got to attack it. But no, if you get it smooth and nice and calm, you tend to get a faster lap than if you go in all guns blazing and sideways.
And it looks at the moment as well, as we go into the final heat and the pre-final and the final today, the weather's changed a little bit. It's cooled off. Any changes in the kart to the early heat races when the sun was out and blazing?
Yeah, so when the sun's really hot, the tyres get all, they melt and get too sticky for the kart, and you end up losing grip.
Yeah.
But hopefully now, when the track's cooled down a bit, we've got a bit more. It's meant to heat up later in the day, so we'll see how that affects the car.
And any changes to your setup with the change in weather as well?
Not really at the minute.
Yeah.
We will see after the third heat what the temperature does for the pre-final.
And do you know where you're lining up for your third heat?
Yeah, lined up in 6th.
In 6th, okay. So we're going to see you working through 5 overtakes and coming out in first?
Hopefully.
And just thinking back to Rowra, obviously you put yourself on the top step of the podium there. What are you hoping to achieve come the end of this weekend?
Well, same again, hopefully. But I know Lingard's very quick, so he'll be hard to beat. But hopefully we'll come away with the podium. I should be happy with that.
And Miles Barthorpe as well, running well this weekend?
Yeah, they're all running really quick, to be honest.
Yeah.
All drivers seem to be very fast.
All right. Well, best of luck and thanks for talking to us, George.
Thank you.
Where are you finding are the places, the corners around the circuit where you can make those overtakes stick?
I like the second left in the double left, the long left-hander before the boot, and Ashby the hairpin as well, and Christmas corner. I like those.
Is it all about keeping your nerve and getting on the brakes as late as possible, or what's the key?
Yeah, just try and brake as late as possible, hold the corner so they can't switch back you, and just get your head down, chase the other person.
Tell us about that last heat, because I understand you started 14th on the grid and you finished it first. That's an incredible race.
Yeah, I just started 14th. I had a great start. I think I made up about 5-6 positions. I just got my head down, focused on my driving, did me, and won the race.
Round 2 of the championship. How's it been going so far?
Yeah, it's been a good weekend. It's quite a tough track because it's very bumpy with the new karts and very grippy, so a bit weird to get used to from the restricted kart, but yeah, it's fun.
And for your first couple of heat races yesterday in your practice, the weather was absolutely scorching. Were you noticing the tyres were heating up a bit quicker, a bit more grip, or how was it for you?
Yeah, it went to the point where we didn't even have to warm up the tyres on the outlap because they just gripped straight away. So tried to keep those cool as we could towards the end of the session because there was a bit of overheat, we would have lost pace.
Just tell us a little bit about the circuit here at Whilton Mill. It's a fast circuit, and straight off the start-finish line, there's a left and a right, and then it's hammer down all the way up to Christmas Corner. I'd imagine the key is to stay out of trouble off the start.
Yeah, you always got to be in a good position for the start, and some of the corners you have to be perfect because down at the last sector, if you get one corner wrong, you've mucked your run up all the way up to the top corner.
And where around the circuit are you seeing for you the key positions or the key corners where you could actually start to make a few overtakes?
Obviously going up the straight into the Christmas at the top of the hill because it's a long run, so you can draft into someone and got the inside.
What sort of things are your mechanic and your driver coach telling you this morning as we go into the final heat and then the pre-final and the final?
Just trying to stay cool because in this one we start from the back, so just get into the front, keep your nose clean and go forward.
Fantastic weekend for you in Rowrah, then top step of the podium. Have you come here this weekend with the same aspirations?
Yeah, obviously great to win, but we're here to get the championship done. It is a championship, so get the points high and stay clean.
So that's just some of the thoughts and updates from the paddock this morning. Join us after the break when we'll be going racing. Well, we're kicking things off in style here at Whilton Mill, bringing you the Super Cadet race. These little racers are always up for excitement and the adrenaline will be running high. If you remember back to Rowrah, the race was red flagged after an incident. Hopefully that won't happen here again today, but you can expect to see plenty of action from start to finish, especially on corners like this one, Ozier, as they whip around this left-hander and get the hammer down the back straight before going around the boots and crossing the start-finish line. Let's see what happens then and who can keep it clean as we go and join your race commentator, Jake Sanson.
Thanks, buddy. Super Cadet at Whilton Mill. This is going to be a good one. Charlie Hart on the inside line. Nathan Tye on the out. From McLaughlin, Bishop, Clark and Wolfen as they head into Oblivion and into Crook for the first time. Charlie Hart has held on in front of Nathan Tye and they come up to Christmas for the first time. 4 wide out of Crook and Oblivion. Look at the way they come up towards Christmas Corner. Hugging the inside line, Charlie Hart absolutely determined not to lose ground as Lewis Werrell makes his move on the inside of Roman Kamyab into Ashby and gets through, tucking in behind Mason Rudman. So now they come up down towards the right-hander at Parker and into Chapman, and this is Fred Green battling away with Finley Brown. They come through at the end of the lap and Nathan Tye is all over the back of Charlie Hart as they head into lap 2. So already a pretty exciting start to proceedings and these guys are putting on quite the show as they try to battle for position. Now Lewis Werrell getting his move on the inside of Mason Rudman and now closing up on the 45 of Noah Wolf in front. So this is going to be an interesting battle as they continue to charge around the course. Going very wide again out of Ashby into Parkman and then heading up towards Chapman. Bottom of the crest. Then they come out of the flick, out of Zulu 3 and down the back straight. This is going to be a very interesting run for the drivers in Miami Super Cadet, as Charlie Hart is desperate to try and hang on to this lead in front of Nathan Tye, but up the inside comes Finn McLaughlin, and McLaughlin gets through into the position. Nicely done there as he pushes his way into second place. Now Lewis Werrell trying to make another bid. Oh, and that's contact! Off the circuit goes the 23. That is Jack Moat, and he's had a couple of other karts go with him. The 12 is caught up. That's Joe Lewis. Fortunately, it seems as though everybody else got away with it without incident, so that is very good news to see. But unfortunate for Moat and Lewis as they are now playing catch-up. Whoops! That's a little bit of a moment there from Mason Bishop as Fred Green gets up the inside. No, you don't! Lovely bit of defensive work from Bishop as he now hangs in behind Finley Brown. And as the field continues on their way, this is rip-roaring stuff as we go into lap 4. So a very exciting run for the competitors already, as Finn McLaughlin is now second behind Charlie Hart. Ty McLaughlin is in the second position spot. Noah Wolf is fourth in front of Macaulay Bishop and Lewis Werrell. But it's getting quite close between the top six. We're on board with Fred Green having another crack at Bishop as Bishop makes his move. Oh, we had a couple of carts going off there to the left-hand side of us through Ashby. Let's have another look. So let's have a look on the replay. This is Ben Smith with up the inside. Oh, that's all gone terribly wrong as the 48 of Finley Brown drifts wide and Bishop makes up a place in all of that, as does Fred Green. So the battle continues as we head into lap 5, and Macaulay Bishop sets the fastest lap of the race, 50.372. He wins the Profit FX Fastest Lap Award. So this is going to be an interesting one, as up the inside into third position. That is another change, and that is Finn McLaughlin up into the lead, is it now, from Nathan Ty? I think to double check on that one, but I'm fairly sure there's been a lead change as McLaughlin is now in front of Ty, Hart and Macaulay Bishop. Up into fourth place past Wolf. Yes, indeed, Finn McLaughlin is in the lead. So as they come through once again, we're on board with Charlie Hart running in fourth position now. That is the 68 in front of us of Macaulay Bishop. He's worked his way through into third place. And this is the lead battle for Nathan Ty up the inside. And Bishop gets there as well. Finn McLaughlin down to third position as they make their way into Ashby once again. Nathan Ty hits the front. Brilliant bit of racing. He's having an amazing 2020. Now there's Wolf in front of us. We're on board with Lewis Werrell, trying to chase down the opposition as the field works its way through this very fast final turn. But the battle raging as Macaulay Bishop has made his way over to second place now, hunting down Nathan Ty. Finn McLaughlin still there in third position. Absolutely tremendous stuff as they come out of Ashby and up towards Parker and Chapman once again. We're on board with Lewis Werrell, and that is the 45 in front of us. Noah Wolf trying to tuck in out of the left-hander, and down the back straight they come. Bishop still giving plenty of aggro to Nathan Ty up in the lead of the race, but Ty is absolutely bolted to the lead of this race. Can he hang on to the lead? At the moment, it is just a train of 6 of them as Ty continues to hang on. Now, this is Fred Green. And up in front, 48. Finley Brown tapping his helmet. Come on, work with me, not against me. But Fred Green's not going to pay attention to that. And a spin as Brown hits the grass. He drifts wide and one wheel gets on the grass. And that's definitely compromised his afternoon. What a shame. As he rejoins, he is absolutely furious. Let's have a look at it. Up the inside, Green goes for the move. They both drift out wide, and all it takes is for Brown to get one wheel on the grass. It spits the kart out sideways, and there's nothing he can do about it. So a very interesting and intense battle from the competitors as they continue on their way. On board with Charlie Hart, that is Finn McLaughlin in front of us, the Irishman, running well in third place. That's 45 in fifth position. That is Noah Wolf in front of the 101 of Lewis Werrell. What a top 6. And now Nathan Ty drifting wide. It counteracts the rest of the field as Bishop, McLaughlin and Charlie Hart all now tighten up. On board with Lewis Werrell. He's now right in behind Noah Wolf once more. But the pole sitter Charlie Hart is still there in P4, having slipped back. So now Wolf and Werrell are having a nice little fisticuffs for fifth position. Can Werrell get his move on the inside of Wolf? For the moment, the answer is no. Further back, we've got Alfie Slater battling away there with the 73 of Sebastian Mins. And that's Fred Green losing out as he loses a place, unfortunately, to Zach Green. So Green gets through. Nice little overtake from him at Christmas. And as the field continues to work its way through the course, it's been an absolutely heroic final. Charlie Hart now right on the back bumper of Macaulay Bishop, trying to come through. Still these two battling away, Mins and Slater. Mins is trying to get his move on the inside of Alfie Slater. Can't quite make the move stick though. Back on board with Charlie Hart. Fourth position behind Ty, McLaughlin and Bishop. Can he make his bid to come through? Oh, that's McLaughlin through into second place now, so he's managed to get back into second place. Good run from the Irishman. Now can he hunt down Nathan Ty as they come through over the line once more. Lap 12, blue flag starting to wave as the front of the field has caught up to the back. Whilton Mill can be a tough one, and there's the reason how tough it can be. Goodness me, 33 just drifts wide off the turn. That's a big problem for Jacob Woods. Let's have a look again. Was he assisted there? Well, he certainly seems to think he was. Couldn't see any initial point of contact personally on that shot, but he certainly thinks that there was an issue. As he rejoins, he puts his hand in the air. Did you see that? Well, an interesting battle as they continue on their way through. Charlie Hart still hunting down Macaulay Bishop in third position. Finn McLaughlin now in second. Tucked in behind Nathan Ty. Is he going to make his bid for the move? He's certainly thinking about it as he comes into Christmas. He's got a run on the inside. Finn McLaughlin hits the front here at Whilton Mill. Brilliant bit of racing. This is definitely much closer than it was last time out at Rowra for the battle for victory. But Charlie Hart is now tucked right in behind Macaulay Bishop. He wants a piece of the action. So as they come through, this is going to be tough for McLaughlin to hold on to. He knows just what's at stake here. Nathan Tighe giving him plenty of hurry up as they come into Christmas once again. He needs to time it right though. You only need to lead one lap. That is the last one. So Charlie Hart still gaining ground on the 3 leaders, but McLaughlin holds station in front of Nathan Tighe and Macaulay Bishop. Wolf is dropping back a little in 5th place, and Lewis Werrell can't quite hang it out with the top 5. This is the move from Nathan Tighe. He's going to come up the inside into Christmas. Boom! Bang! Tidy. Lovely move from Nathan Tighe. And that was well orchestrated and very well executed. So now Macaulay Bishop will want to try and make his own move. Oh, somebody pulling off there in rather unusual circumstances. Who's that that's come to a stop there on the exit of Crook and Oblivion? It's certainly going to give us a bit of an issue if potentially we're going to have yellow flags there, because Tighe and McLaughlin are not going to get an opportunity to battle it out for the lead in that one. It's the 12 that went off, Joe Lewis. So Lewis is the one who pulls off, unfortunately. And it looked as though that was a mechanical problem of some kind. Is this going to be the move on the inside from Ethan Woodward? He tries his best to get through on Sky Parker, but can't make it work. And now Fred Green has nowhere to go. Goodness me, that was very close indeed. We almost had a big issue in the final turn. And now Wolf is trying to gesture to Charlie Hart. Come on, work with me. We're in 4th and 5th and the 3 leaders are about to squabble. We should get on their back bumpers and battle for the victory. We've got time and we've got opportunities. Let's do it. They come across the line again. Into the final lap we go, and the 3 leaders are absolutely bolted together. Tighe, Bishop, McLaughlin. It's going to be fantastic between these 3. Tighe is almost marrying the front line and the inside of the apex. Bishop holds on to the inside too. McLaughlin right there in 3rd position. Wolf and Hart closing in on the 3 leaders all the time as they duel for position. Bishop trying to make his bid on the inside. Tighe defends, and Hart makes his move on Wolf. He gets into 4th position on the last lap. Oh, he's hit the grass and he's lost it. Charlie Hart! Oh my goodness, look, he's tried to make the bid. Now Wolf's come through on the inside. Oh, they actually made contact. So unfortunate for Charlie Hart. The pole sitter's been amazing all weekend, and his chances have blown it. But now McLaughlin's having to defend 2nd because Tighe has snapped away and gone. Nathan Tighe wins it. McLaughlin 2nd from Bishop and Noah Wolf. Absolutely sensational stuff here. Really exciting racing. It's Nathan Tighe that takes the victory in the final rankings in front of McLaughlin and Bishop.
Well, some super racing from those young super cadets there, giving us excitement all the way to the checkered flag. But in the end, your podium ended up with Macaulay Bishop just behind Finn McLaughlin. But the man that won in Rowra has won here at Whilton Mill. Nathan Tighe does it again. And here's what he had to say when I caught up with him at the podium.
So we tried to push away at the start, but it didn't happen, so it was a bit of a scrap the whole race, but towards the end we managed to get the win. Obviously on the last lap we defended, and the second lap we looked behind, but there was a bit of a gap, so we didn't defend and managed to get over the line.
The end didn't end up as well as I wanted, so tried my hardest and done as well as I could.
Well, the sun has certainly come out for this one, and hopefully it will be shining for the man that is sitting in pole. That's Gabriel Still, a Whilton Mill regular and Rowra winner. Alongside him then is Leo Robinson. Can Gabriel make it another perfect weekend? So without further ado, the sun is shining, it's time to go racing. Here's Jake.
Thank you, sir. What a treat. Mini X30 at Whilton Mill. Gabriel Still from Leo Robinson, Hassan, Ekberg, Gregory, Allen, Rippin, Anderson, Carter and Vinnie Phillips, and let's race! Into the first corner. No problem at all as the field works its way through Oblivion and into Crook. Now up Fine Lady and Manuel's Bank towards Christmas Corner. So far it is out in front for Stilp as back in a second place comes Leo Robinson on the inside of Aiden Hassan. Hassan made the jump initially thanks to that advantage on the inside line for the second row, but Robinson has retaken the place and the Fusion Motorsport driver now in behind the man who dominated in the winter season in the Clubbies. That is Gabriel Still out in front. We're on board with Aiden Hassan, the Mark Baines Motorsport young gun. Out through the left-hander at Chapman, onto the back straight and up towards the boot. Very tricky part of the course this. Tight left, double apex right, opens on the exit so you can floor the throttle, and then into pit bend. Fabulous bit of race driving from the leaders on the first lap. Still just controlling the pace. Robinson and Hassan still there. Quick enough and easy enough to get back on terms with him. Whoops, that's a bit of a moment for Henry Gregory. That's going to cost him a few places, unfortunately, as he drops down to about 9th, I think, because he's lost ground to the likes of Vinnie Phillips. Also, I think Jack Hobson's made a good start. He's made up a few places. You can see him there in the 28, working his way through the pack quite quickly. Some great performances here as the drivers are already starting to charge their way forward. We're on board with Joe Rippin. He's now chasing after Ty Major. And Ty Major is having a bit of a run, but in behind now comes Joe Rippin as he chases after the 82, I think that is, who is there in the mix. No, sorry, the 80. Yes, it is the 82 of Ella Stevens. Teammate to Vinnie Phillips, of course, but what a great battle she is having to try and fight her way back through the field. Having had a bit of an unfortunate pre-final, she is now working her way back into contention. There's the 14, doing a great job at the moment. That's Fraser Anderson. He's having an amazing run in 2020. His developmental pace has been absolutely on point through the mid part of the season. He's really starting to find his feet now. So back on board with Hassan. That's Robinson in front of us. Gabriel Stilp is the leader, just a whisker in front. These three drivers likely to be the ones battling for the victory, but don't count out the men queuing up to have a go once more. This could be some very entertaining stuff for the drivers in the mix as they continue to charge forward. Stilp running well. Robinson, Hassan. 4th place is still Rylan Ekberg. And in 5th position now, that is Vinnie Phillips. He's got himself into contention. He is charging back. So far, so good for the leader, though. Stilp just needs to control the pace here. Robinson is still there in 2nd place, hunting for his opportunity. Hassan in 3rd. Robinson needs to time this right. No point going ugly early with a bold move that may or may not work. You've got to let the man in front do all the hard work. So the top 4 still absolutely bolted together as they come out of Chapman. On board with Aiden Hassan. That's Robinson still in front, but right behind us now is Rylan Ekberg. He's been there pretty much the whole race, to be fair. He's just waiting for a whisker of opportunity to open up. As Vinnie Phillips runs in a very strong 5th position behind us. And in 6th place now, that looks to me like Luke Sintler has worked his way up through the field. So a good bit of driving from Sintler. But we're on board once again with Hassan as he charges after the leaders. Here's the move from Robinson on the inside of Christmas. Hassan tried to make a gap on the inside line as well, but couldn't quite finish the job as Stilp moved across to cover it off. So Robinson is now in the lead of the race here. Gabriel Stilp in 2nd. Absolutely thrilling performance from the leader at the moment. Robinson just getting on with it. Stilp in 2nd place. Now he needs to control his composure. He's lost the lead, but he hasn't lost the race. Not yet. There's a long way to go. He's just got to get himself reset and back into his A game. He can charge after the leader, no problem, once he's in a good rhythm once more. Over the line comes the leader, Robinson, out in front. Stilp in 2nd, 3rd Hassan. 4th place is Ekberg, and in 5th is Vinnie Phillips. These 5 have broken well clear. Stilp is getting straight back on the horse, up the inside line, and makes the move into Christmas. It's come early for Gabriel Stilp. He gets the move there and gets into the lead once more. But now Aiden Hassan might be wanting to make his own bid for 2nd place on Robinson. And Ekberg will want his move on Hassan. And behind them, Phillips will want his move as well. Jack Hobson has now worked his way up into 6th position. Good bit of driving from him, I have to say. And he's now in front of Luke Sintler. So some good performances from the youngsters then at the back of the pack. What a move there as up the inside comes Vinnie Phillips. Dives through on Aiden Hassan. He's finally made his move. He's made his presence felt, so Hassan has dropped to 5th position now because Ekberg's got through and now Vinnie Phillips has got through. So Hassan, local driver to Milton Keynes, just down the road from here, now needs to get back on terms with it. Oh, a little bit of debris flicked up there by Ekberg. He must have just got very close indeed to the white line and has picked up some rubbish and flung it in the air, but I don't think it's from his kart, so all should be all right from his point of view. He certainly hasn't lost any speed of late. There's Hobson. Sittler's behind him somewhere. Still running very solidly at the front end of the field, these guys. On board with Hassan. Now he's watching Ekberg and Phillips duke it out. He was watching Stilp versus Robinson. But he's still a very solid 5th place. It's a respectable position at this stage of the race. Stilp is absolutely resolute now. He's not going to lose the position here as they come through the first few corners. Into Oblivion, into the right-hander at Crook. Keeping the kart out on the runoff area and up Manuel's bank. Here's the move from 3rd position. Is this going to be the move on Ekberg? Yes, it is. Phillips gets through into 3rd position and now Aiden Hassan is going to try and make his revenge attack on Rylan Ekberg. Here comes Hassan into Ashby. That'll do nicely. Great bit of racing. And Hassan once again making a bold move, and it's a good one as he moves into 4th place. We're on board with Joe Rippin, the MLC Motorsport driver, trying to get himself back on terms with the drivers in front. A very physically demanding circuit this at Whilton Mill. He tries to make some progress. It's always very hard in this. Oh, we've had 2 karts come together there. Now that's not gone well. And that looks to me like Kira Harris has had the incident there. Unfortunately coming together with Thomas Carter. So Thomas Carter gets going, so does Kira Harris, but it's definitely impeded both drivers as they try to recover. But it's definitely cost them dear in this race. They will now fall down the order, which is unfortunate because they were both hoping for a decent result here in the final at Whilton Mill. And is that Phillips at the front? He's worked his way forward, hasn't he? No, that's Robinson. My apologies. Robinson's back in front of Stilp, and now Stilp is going to try and get straight back on the inside. But in 3rd place, it is Vinnie Phillips. So they need to stop warring, otherwise they're going to lose out to Phillips. After all this, it's going to be a close run thing for the victory. Stilp having retaken the lead from Robinson. And Vinnie Phillips right there in 3rd position. Stilp is trying to hang on to it, but every time he pushes the kart a little bit further, the back end drifts out. And that's going to make the tyres blister a little bit faster in the heat of Whilton Mill. Here's Aiden Hassan. Look at the tyre on the front left there from Hassan. You can see it's blistering as Ekberg has made the dive on the inside line to get into 4th place. Meanwhile, Stilp is still hanging it out there, battling with Robinson and Phillips now, who is very nearly on the back bumper of his teammate. They go through the first corner, pushing very hard as they come up to Christmas corner once again. Last of the late breakers between the 2 leaders now. They're almost daring each other to break that little bit longer into the apex of the braking zone. So this is a tough one for Stilp and Robinson to hang on to. 3rd place is still Vinnie Phillips, then it's Ekberg and Hassan. We're on board with the 64. Mark Baines very much watching from the sideline. His young charge doing an absolutely fantastic job at the moment. But can he make the bid on Ekberg at the same place where Ekberg took him a lap ago? Well, Hassan's not going to go for a wild manoeuvre. He's going to make sure that this overtaking move's going to pull off. Out of the final turn. And still pushing very hard as they come onto the straight and into lap 14. And Hassan's got a run on Ekberg. Oh, that's how tight it is as he drifts wide. Ekberg nearly loses up. That's for the lead. Up in front, Robinson's got the lead. He managed to get the move on the inside of Gabriel Stilp. So Robinson hits the front once again. That's the 3rd time in the race he has led. So a brilliant run from Leo Robinson as he now heads the pack in front of Gabriel Stilp as we go into the final lap. And he's made the move at exactly the right moment. So it looks like it's all going to be gravy up front for Leo Robinson in front of Gabriel Stilp and Vinnie Phillips. It's going to be an absolutely brilliant battle between these 2 for 4th place, Hassan and Ekberg, and there's a close run thing between Hobson, Gregory and Sintler further back as well. But it's all been perfectly executed and well judged by Leo Robinson. He has timed it to perfection. He needed to make a smart move for the victory. He did it on the penultimate lap and had enough rubber on the tyres to really push it in the penultimate laps. So he's going to get the victory in fine fettle. There's Kira Harris. She's got going again, so she'll be able to finish off in style. But here comes Leo Robinson in front of Stilp and Phillips. Leo Robinson gets the victory. What a drive in front of Gabriel Stilp and Vinnie Phillips from Hassan and Ekberg. And in the battle for 6th, it is Gregory that beats Hobson and Sittler over the line. Great racing at Whilton Mill. That is what the Ultimate Karting Championship is all about.
Well, X30 Minis delivering the goods there for all of us watching from the sidelines. What an exciting race. Vinnie Phillips puts himself in third. Best that Gabriel Silk could do was second, and it was all down to a bold move by that man, Leo Robinson, number 37 of Fusion Racing, that saw him take the top step of the podium. Here's what he had to say when I caught up with him afterwards.
Me and Gabriel were pushing a bit of fighting for position. Then Vinny came, and at the hairpin, they went really hard in, so I got cut back.
Yeah, we had a good pre-fight and we won it. And then coming into the final, we were really good at the start, and then at the end, the cart sort of went off.
So the final race in this instalment for now, and we take a look at the X30 Juniors. Lining up on the front row of the grid, it's Sam Shaw, and alongside him, he's got Darryl Taylor. Rowrell winner and championship leader, Luke Watts, starts in fifth. So without further ado, the sun is shining, it's time to go racing. Here's Jake.
Sam Shaw and Darryl Taylor on the front row of the starting grid here at Whilton Mill. This needs to be a clean start. We're away and up into Oblivion and through Crook. Are they all just about going to get through? It's a tight squeeze, but yes, that is a beautiful start. So hard to get right as they come up Fine Lady and Manuel's Bank into Christmas Corner. Sam Shaw maintaining his lead. And as they come into the very tight Ashby right-hander, they have got to stay focused here. It's so easy to make a mistake. That is as good a start at Whilton Mill as you're ever going to get in Junior X30. Sam Shaw and Darryl Taylor at the front of the Junior X30 grid from Harry Junior Burgoyne and Harvey Ryby. It's going to be an interesting battle as Luke Watts already starts to charge up behind Harry Junior Burgoyne. And the race is well underway as the battle rages here at Whilton Mill. And that's a big lunge on the inside of Darryl Taylor from Burgoyne. I think Burgoyne's made it stick into Ashby. And that is a bold lunge, but it's worked beautifully as in behind Douglas Bolger, we've got Rashan Chigarimbo trying to work his magic. So Chigarimbo and Bolger having a very exciting tussle already as Sam Shaw heads the field early doors in front of Darryl Taylor initially, but now it's Harry Junior Burgoyne. So Harry Junior Burgoyne having worked his way through. Luke Watts is still there in third, and Chigarimbo makes the move on Bolger. Gets past, no problem at all. And it looks as though Watts has got through on Darryl Taylor, and that's a spin further back. That is Alex Moody. So Alex Moody has had a problem there in the 88. Unfortunate for him as he has gone around. And that's another big lunge on the inside as Taylor goes for Watts, and they both drift out wide. Goodness me, Watts' camera position's actually been moved as a result of that little tussle. Dear oh dear, it got close between them. Wow, very exciting stuff between the leaders as now Harry Junior Burgoyne tightens up behind Sam Shaw, who is still controlling the pace for the moment. You've got to say, Harry Junior Burgoyne's been one of the standout performers in Junior X30 over the last few months. Still new to the category, fresh out of the lower categories. And this is the move on the inside as we go on board with Kyan Gohill. And this is side by side up in front, Josh Patterson going wheel to wheel with the 12 of Alicia Bradshaw. Bradshaw trying to hold on, there's nothing doing. Patterson gets through, Gohill tries to get through as well. Can't quite make it happen. So across the line, Shaw and Burgoyne. Sam Shaw, well versed in Junior X30 these days. Harry Junior Burgoyne is still very much the new boy to the class, but boy is he putting on a show, and up the inside into Christmas. He is leading. Great performance from Harry Junior Burgoyne. And he is in command now as they come through Ashby and up towards Parker and Chapman. On board with Rashan Chigarimbo as he now tries to close up on his next attacker. That is Christian Brooks, who is up in front. Maybe he can make this move happen. Fascinated to see how the drivers are working on. Oh, a big tank slapper from Christian Brooks into oblivion. He was very lucky that he didn't end up there. That was a big move, and now here's another one on the inside as Russian Chigarimbo makes his own lunge. Great overtaking moves as the field continues to dice around this Whilton Mill circuit. And that is another bold lunge on the inside, and that is Watts trying to make up more places. But Burgoyne is out in front of Shaw. On board with Luke Watts, that is Harvey Ryby in front of us. Ryby doing a fantastic job these days in Junior X30. He is quickly becoming a regular front runner. He's done it the hard way, having to do the hard slog of running in the midfield over the last couple of seasons. Now he's at the front, and he deserves to be there as the drivers continue to charge forward. Now this is Bolger having a nice little battle again with Chigarimbo. Can he get through? Well, that was fairly textbook. He didn't wait around for that one. Very nicely handled. So, a nice little battle between those two. Short-lived, but certainly easy enough to make the move happen. As the field continue on their way around, this is going to be pretty intense, exciting stuff. We're on board with Ellis Bourchier for Piers Sexton Racing. Now trying to close up on the 59 up in front. Now, that is, of course, the very talented Oscar Joyce, who's had a tricky weekend so far, but is still there or thereabouts. Burgoyne runs wide, up at Crook. As they come up Manuel's Bank and Fine Lady, this is Shaw on the inside, and he's going to bring Taylor with him. Daryl Taylor gets through in a second in the same breath. But Burgoyne's not done. In fact, Daryl Taylor's making his bid for the lead now. He gets through up into Ashby. Nice bit of overtaking. There's always drama aplenty at Whilton Mill, and the Junior X30s are adding their own flavour and zest to it. Out onto the main straight once again. Daryl Taylor in front of Sam Shaw and Harry Junior Burgoyne. Pushing out of the first corner. Storming down Manuel's Bank. And up towards Christmas. Here's Chigarimbo, still battling away with Luke Watts, still trying to catch up to the three drivers in front, and still hoping that there's going to be a race victory to battle for when they get there. But now Chigarimbo trying his best on Watts. Watts holding him at the line. There was nothing in that. He squeezes him just enough to hold on to the place. Great bit of kart control as they continue to charge their way forward. The 92 still pushing away there. And up the inside line. This is going to be fascinating stuff from the competitors as they continue to charge forward. So they still boldly run round the course. Continue on. Now this is Burgoyne in front of Sam Shaw. They come over the line into the first corner. Out of oblivion into Crook. Up Fine Lady and then along Manuel's Bank into Christmas, and Burgoyne still hanging it out in front of Shaw, but Daryl Taylor well and truly has the advantage up front. Back on board with Ellis Bouchier. That's Sam Baker in front of us. A stationary yellow flag is there on the circuit. Not entirely sure what that would be for. Whoops, as Chigarimbo loses out to Watts. And Watts is going to try and hold on to it, but Chigarimbo gets him straight back again. Nice bit of kart control. Now the man in fourth position is making a bit of a bit. Oh, and that's one of the Mad Crocs. That's Olivier Algieri. So I'm afraid that is all very badly wrong indeed, as Olivier Algieri is now out of the race. That's unfortunate. He's had a very unlucky start to the season. Now Kanato Lee is in front of us as he battles away with Baker. Baker makes his move on the inside line, and so do we. So Baker gets through, Bourchier gets through, and Kanato Lee, the young Japanese driver, is wondering what on earth hit him. Rashan Chigarimbo is at the back of this queue. He sets the fastest lap. So he'll get the Profit FX trophy. This is Ellis Bouchier making his bid on Sam Baker. Comes through nicely. That was a perfect textbook overtaking opportunity. But the top four are absolutely bolted together. This is going to be the move on the inside. Sam Shaw and Chigarimbo get through on Harry Junior Burgoyne. And now Chigarimbo's making his bid for second on Sam Shaw. He gets through. Burgoyne's got space to get through. Past one, maybe even both of them. No, he gets squeezed out. And so Chigarimbo and Shaw both managed to take the place away. Absolutely astonishing racecraft. As into the final lap goes Daryl Taylor, and he's dropped them. He's absolutely stormed away. And this is a bold lunge. Well, this is definitely going to make up for some of his previous losses through the years. Daryl Taylor has been a very unlucky driver in the past, but now he's made his own luck. Chigarimbo in second, trying to hang on from Shaw and Burgoyne. They're going to be absolutely locking horns as they come through the final turn, but Daryl Taylor takes it, and it's Chigarimbo in a fantastic second from Shaw and Burgoyne. Douglas Bolger catches them up to 5th place. Then Harvey Ryby in 6th from Luke Watts, Christian Brooks, with Zach Ripley and Charlie Rippin rounding out the top 10. Magic!
Well, X30 Juniors delivering the goods there, and the man that kept a cool head fighting off all those who were challenging from behind was Darryl Taylor. 2nd place on the grid, 1st place at the finish, and here's what he had to say when I caught up with him at the end.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. It's just amazing. It was a bit scrappy at the start, but I managed to put it in. It's pretty much job done. I looked back on the last lap, so I'd have a bit of a gap, so all I had to do is keep calm and drive it to the flag.
It was a pretty interesting race, seeing as we started so far back. So I knew I had to make my way up to try and get a shot at podium finish.
Well, some fantastic racing there at the end of 3 super finals. And let's see what it's done to the overall championship standings.
No major surprises, Kevin. 2 weekends in and it's really heating up. Nathan Tye has a strong advantage. Finn McLaughlin and Charlie Hart are close for 2nd, with Wolf, Slater and Bishop very close together there in the top 6. Even the mid-pack are quite evenly spaced. Look at that. You've got a good 5 to 6 drivers there covered by 10 points in the mid-pack. All it's going to take is one decent weekend and they'll shoot up the order. In Mini X30, Gabriel Stilp holds a 20-point advantage over Leo Robinson and Vinnie Phillips. Egberg, Gregory, Hassan and Ella Stevens are all very much in the mix still after 2 weekends. And even in the midfield, there are some drivers with some good points on the haul. So hopefully there is more to come from them as we get to the second half of this Ultimate Karting Championship. And even in the X30 Junior, look at that, just 8 points between Luke Watts and Darryl Taylor. Sam Shaw and Harry Burgoyne Jr. are close, with the likes of Mackie, Stapleford and Jessica Edgar close in, as is Kanato Lee. And in that midfield, well, 20 points covering at least 10 drivers. It's going to get interesting as this season develops.
So 3 class champions crowned, and there are 4 more still to go, and they will all feature in the next programme from here at Whilton Mill. Until then, from all of the team and all the drivers, see ya.